The Southampton Boat Show 2021 saw us conduct 30 man overboard retrievals. We had a great crew: Ellen, Jessie, Edward, Wendy, Tom and Bo. I even went in on one occasion. You see, I've spent my life looking down at the water from on the deck of a 35-foot boat and considering how we would attach a line to a casualty who was floating there in a life jacket but incapable of taking the line we were offering him. We can't reach down to attach a line to him. So I thought, what about if he came up to us? And so the MOB Lifesaver was born. It's a loop of ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene with a triangle formed in one end. The other end attaches to the lifting becket in your life jacket. When the life jacket inflates, the Lifesaver is there, available for a rescuer to grab with a boat hook. MOB Lifesavers float, and they're incredibly strong. We break them at 2.6 tons, and they're coated day-glow yellow, so they're highly visible. They've been approved for inclusion in Crew Saver, Ocean Safety, Baltic, Spinlock and SeaSafe life jackets. You can of course add what you like to your existing jacket, but if a chandler or manufacturer is to sell a new life jacket with something extra added, the jacket has to be tested with that extra to make sure it still meets the standard for them to be able to offer a warranty. We also demonstrated the Ocean Signal MOB-1 Man Overboard AIS DSC beacon. We disabled the AIS for fear of upsetting the neighbours, and the DSC call was routed to my handheld VHF, or the mothership as I called it, and a member of the audience was entrusted with this. We worked with SeaSafe life jackets throughout, as they are my favourite. Why? Because they're worn by the professionals, people who wear a life jacket all day long as part of their job, port workers, dockmasters. And they have a lovely soft section round the neck, which is most comfortable. There's enough room inside to add in MOB beacons like the MOB-1, and they're the only life jackets that are now manufacturing in our MOB Lifesavers. We've had the MOB Lifesavers made in 5mm Dyneema webbing so they can be sewn to the harness along with the lifting becket. And SeaSafe are now offering a model of life jacket called the Ultra, with the MOB Lifesaver sewn in, a spray hood, a light, an Ocean Signal MOB-1 and NFC technology which records your details and medical information and which can be scanned by a mobile phone, and all as standard. You see, for me, any life jacket that's to be used at sea must have a spray hood and a light. A spray hood because water lapping in your face will make you choke, and choking is what will kill us. And the wind will always turn you face towards it and the lapping waves. And the light because regardless of falling in at night, it's often murky out there, and a light will help to spot you. The man goes in. The life jacket inflates. The spray hood comes out. The light starts to flash. The MOB-1 activates, and it too has a light on it. And now it will send out the call to the mothership. There it is, and there's Kane, our handheld radio holder, showing everyone that it's gone off. This would normally be followed by the AIS signal once the MOB-1 had found its GPS position. Now Ed demonstrates the spray hood.
And you put it over your head, and he's going to do a spray test in a bit. There you are. Oh, lovely. And just flash himself. And are you choking? No choking. Right, okay.
The rescuer, Ellen, grabs the MOB Lifesaver attached to the lifting becket in Ed's life jacket and secures this to a cleat on board. Now the man is by the boat, not going anywhere, and Ellen can set up the retrieval rig. I say that you shouldn't step onto a boat without considering just exactly how you might get a casualty in the water back on board, and you shouldn't. Think about it. It's too late to plan anything after the man's gone in. We use a 6-part ratcheted block tackle that's made by Harken specially for us, and only available from us. It takes the Harken ratcheted block main sheet technology, which allows the main trimmer to ride the gusts, and turns it round so the ratcheted block is on top and removes the cam cleat. It's been tested specifically to lift a man and is rated to a safe working load. A main sheet for taming the boom is simply rated to a breaking strain, but when you're lifting a man, different rules apply. It's the only tackle that's been rated for lifting a man. We keep our 6-part tackle extended in a bucket. We tie a ribbon around the falls by each of the blocks to prevent them turning in or twisting, which could cause a tangle, and so it deploys perfectly straight from the bucket, 30 times at Southampton without a hitch. We raise it on the spinnaker halyard and have marked the halyard so we know when we've raised it to the correct height. That's to say, with the bottom block at deck level, the top block high enough to get the man in over the upper guardrail, and the hauling line within reach. Notice that we don't trust the snap shackle on the end of the spinnaker halyard. Snap shackles have no part to play in MOB retrieval, as they can open unexpectedly and they're difficult to open and close with cold fingers. We use carabiners, specifically Kong Tango locking gate carabiners. So we'll tie a bowline in the end of the spinnaker halyard and attach the carabiner on the top block to this. You see, you can whack a carabiner at what you want to attach it to. We bring the man up forward of the beam. We'll be hove to windward of the MOB and may well have the engine running in astern to hold station, and we don't want dangly legs anywhere near the propeller, which is abaft the beam. Ellen fetches Ed's MOB Lifesaver and clips this into the carabiner on the bottom block of the tackle. We also have a rescue sling which goes under the knees of the casualty to allow him to be brought out horizontally. This is much the most comfortable way to be lifted, I know, and if you can get it under the knees reasonably quickly, then it's a good idea to do this. If this might take some time, then I would go for a vertical lift. We're not lifting the man far, a couple of metres, and the key is to get his face away from the water and the possibility of choking. Going through the process, a man experiences cold shock when he goes in. This makes him hyperventilate, and this can cause choking. He should try to calm his breathing and not panic. Then the body, realizing that the water is cold, will keep all the warm blood around the organs and will stop sending it to the extremities, and so very quickly he will experience cold incapacitation and his fingers will not work. All the while, the pressure of the water on his body has been helping to keep the warm blood around the core. It's called hydrostatic squeeze. When you lift him out of the water, this pressure disappears, and if he has become hypothermic and he's being lifted vertically, blood can rush to his boots and cause a heart attack. A couple of points here. First, hypothermia doesn't set in for a good 45 to 50 minutes, depending on physique and temperature of the water, and we would hope to get back to the man and get him out with our techniques within this time. And secondly, if he's to be lifted a great height, into a helicopter say, I always would go for a horizontal lift.
I'm going to show you why the ratcheted rock tackle is perfect. She's going to hold his weight between finger and thumb. And when it was me in the drink yesterday, all these thousands of stones, she was able to do exactly the same. He will go screaming back into the water. If we let go, she'll show that, see? Whoa. But that ratcheted block is really holding and makes the difference. She's going to do the hauling, but it does make a massive difference. And that's how a small person like Ellen will get a large person like me back on board. Now, all right, Edward? Okay, fine. She's still alive. This is lovely. Now give him a good kicking. I don't mean a good kicking, but push him off. You see, we are vertical, and the pull is into the centre of the boat. If we were actually hove to windward, we'd be leaned slightly, and he wouldn't be coming straight. I'm standing here for a good reason, because you're going to come straight round, whack his head on the mast. Generally speaking, we save them, they whack their head on the mast, whack, and that's how we kill them. But actually today, we're going to let him live. Well done to Ellen. Now, but that wouldn't have got going without an MOB Lifesaver in the life jacket. Okay?
For details on MOB Lifesavers, the 6-part ratcheted block Harken tackle and the rescue sling, go to moblifesavers.com. See you next year.